Well, hello, and welcome to my third actual, yay, uh, live video. uh, Looks like I'm going to wait and see if we have a couple more people to join before I dive in. A lot going on today. We have an awful lot going on, not just today, but this whole week. We've had a lot going on for a lot. Ever since Donald Trump came down that escalator, everything in our world has just been topsy-turvy. It has exposed so much of the evil that has been happening in government, and perhaps we didn't see it. It wasn't highlighted as much as it is now. But well, hello, Ron. How are you? It's good to have you back. This is the third, as I was saying, this is my third live stream. I was just waiting just a couple of minutes to see if a few more people would pop in and say hello. And good. Yeah, things are going well. The weather has turned cold a little bit. We had this nice season of warm weather, and now it's gotten a little chilly outside. But we're all doing well. I am not watching the impeachment, by the way. I can't stomach that stuff. I'll mute it whenever the Democrats are talking and turn on the volume when the Republicans are talking. But as far as from what I see, this impeachment thing with the Senate is just as bad, if not worse, as it was when it was just the House. You too. I hear you. I can't. There are certain people, Adam Schiff is one of them. I can't stomach to look at him. I can't stand to hear his voice. I have to walk out of the room. I'm afraid I'm honestly going to throw up. There's so much evil in that man. There is so much wrong with him. He talks about how the president is deceptive and your mind is spinning. Adam Schiff is one of the most deceptive people. In fact, just recently it came out almost just a couple of days ago, I think 2 days ago, that Adam Schiff was talking about that guy Les Parna and how Les Parna was setting up a meeting whose name began with Z. It wasn't President Zelensky. It was some oligarch in Ukraine. He's been yapping from his two saying, I don't know if I can handle 24 hours of Adam Schiff talking. I think one of the things that the Dems are doing is making the Senate see just how pitiful they are. And I loved it when Nadler actually told the Senate that if they didn't vote for all of these witnesses and all of this information, etc., then they were in compliance with the president and they were part of the cover-up and they were treacherous. I mean, this is not the way to win these people on your side by calling them treacherous. Pat Cipollone jumped in there and said, no, you don't run the Senate. That's the problem with this whole thing. Nancy Pelosi has been acting like she's large and in charge and she's going to tell the Senate what to do. I think the Senate has a mind in there. And now, granted, the votes are going to be down party lines, Democrat, Republicans. But one of the things that I was surprised at pleasantly is that the Republicans so far have stood together and the votes have been 53-47, which is along party lines, but it also means that the squishy rhinos maybe have figured out, and I have said this before, and I heard Rush Limbaugh say this yesterday and reiterate it today, and I know that this is a truth. If the squishy rhino Republicans like Mitt Romney and his ilk do not support this president, they will lose their seats. They will not be reelected. I just know that. I know it with every fiber of my being. They cannot afford. Now, obviously, we don't want them to make a political decision, but this is a political garbage. Did you see Ivanka Trump totally ignored Jim Acosta? I loved it. She comes down the escalator on her way to some meeting and he's trying to ask her a question about impeachment. And she just she doesn't, is there a person over here? Is somebody talking? See, that's the way you have to deal with them. Like Senator McSally, who was being questioned by somebody from CNN, and she just turned to him and said, "You're a political hack. I'm not talking to you." Well, yay. Finally, they're learning. This is the Trump way. You don't have to talk to these people. You don't have to answer their questions. Nobody is forcing you to do that. So if you mute them, I do the same thing. I mute the TV when these idiots are talking, and I don't listen to their garbage. Excuse me, I just dropped all my notes on the floor. But we do have. I've got so excited right before I came on because I do have kind of some late breaking news. This actually just happened today. It was put up on Fox News that 21 attorneys general had sent a letter to the Senate that basically said, do not impeach the president. Do not allow this impeachment to go through, dismiss this case, because it's and it's really a very good letter that they wrote. It's all about how we, as the attorneys general of whatever their state is, we have to safeguard the elections for our country. We have to safeguard the Electoral College. And so they are saying, you know, what you're trying to do is undo the election, the 2016 election. Our people in our states voted for this man to be president. And what you're doing, if you go along with this sham of an impeachment, I don't think they actually use the word sham of impeachment, but that's what it is. Then, you know, that's going to set a precedent. I mean, we're going to undo elections because they don't like what the president has done. And of course, naturally, they are lying through their teeth about everything they say, even in talking about withholding the aid for Ukraine, withholding military aid. The aid that was withheld for what, 55 days, but it was future aid. It wasn't aid that they were going to use at the moment. It was aid for the future. They got everything they needed. They got the javelins. They got all that stuff. So they're just insane. Larry, you read it? You read the letter? Yeah, it's another fraud. Exactly. It's another fraud perpetrated on we the people. It's a complete, all of these things. You know, I watched the Scandalous, which is a show that Fox has on, and they were doing a show on Ruby Bridge, which is something I remembered, but I'd kind of forgotten. And I started researching. I'm going, my gosh, you know, this stuff has been going on for a long time. We always thought these things were a one-off. Montana, hello, Montana. I've never been to that beautiful state, but I have heard it is beautiful, although albeit cold, I imagine. Oh, Lainey is a nickname for. Oh, well, my sister-in-law's name is Elaine. I always tell her she's my favorite sibling. Even though she's my sister-in-law. Yeah, I never had thought about that, but yeah, Lainey, that would make sense. Cool. Welcome. My topic today is all things Trump. But as I was saying, I got excited about the AG. I have been crying out this whole time. Where are the attorneys? Where are these people calling this thing, you know, unconstitutional? Where are the, you know, all of these, as Alan Dershowitz always says, you know, where are the libertarians? Where are the civil liberties people? Well, at least 21 attorneys general have stepped up to the plate and said, no, you can't do this. We're asking you please not to do this. It is such a debacle. But I am, and as I said before, I'm very proud of the Republicans for standing strong so far. They need to stand strong. If they want to have any chance of being reelected, they need to stand strong. They need to stand for this. And I've mentioned this on Twitter and other places, but I think it's 100% true. I look at things from on the natural level. I also try to look at things on the spiritual level. And when I saw those Democrats walking into the Senate with those stupid articles of impeachment, and they were, you know, this ceremoniously, what flashed in my mind was this is a funeral procession of the Democrat Party. I have said it before. I'll say it again. This is a dirge. The Democrats have killed themselves. They've committed democide. This is the end of the Democrat Party. I believe they will not be reelected, most of them. I believe we are going to take over the House and gain in the Senate. And I believe that the Democrat Party is just going to be I mean, I honestly believe that my grandchild, who is 9 months old, will be asking her mom, what is this I read about a Democrat Party? They're just done. They're toast. What they've done is unbelievable. What they're doing to the Constitution, I can't even tell you how angry I am about that. But there are all kinds of interesting things going on with this stupid impeachment, but also with our president is in Davos making us proud again. You know, he is signing deals with China and doing all this stuff, and the Democrats are making jerks of themselves. And, you know, the Republicans are standing strong. As I said, they voted together in so far on the 11 amendments that Chuck Schumer wanted. He didn't get one of them. And I believe this is just kind of down the road, but I believe that the reason that they pushed this impeachment, we have to get this done, we have to get this done. I've heard sort of rumors about it. You may have read some stuff about it. I think they promised Elijah Cummings that they would have him impeached by Christmas, and Elijah Cummings died. And I think that that's because if you remember when they finally had the two articles that they agreed upon, they all toasted Elijah. This is for you, Elijah. You know, this is for you, Representative Cummings, whatever they said. And I further believe that the only reason that Nancy Pelosi delayed sending the articles to the Senate, and people have all kinds of ideas, I don't know, was because her stupid pens had not come in on time. And she was waiting for those gold tip pens. And I wouldn't put her past it. And I've heard they paid $5,000 for those gold tip pens. And they were 18 karat gold or whatever. And they were inscribed with her name on it. And they did all this signing thing. I saw those gold pens, and what came to my mind was gold. That's Nancy Pelosi's golden calf. Any of you who may know what happened in that golden calf. And I would say, may she eat this impeachment. I don't know what's going to happen. But jam one in her ear. If you know the story of the gold, my concern is voter fraud. I'm not as concerned about that. I know that there is voter fraud. I know that the machines are bad, but they've been that way for a while. And if they could have effectively rigged any election, it would have been 2016, and that Donald Trump would not have been elected, and he was. And I know that there's all kinds of fraud with the machines and with this and changing. It's something to look out for. It's something to be aware of. But it's also, it's out of our hands. I mean, we just have to do the best we can to be diligent. Whenever I vote, I ask for the printout, because they do sometimes do a recount. And when they do a recount, I think that would be corrected. I don't really know enough about that. I know that, 2020 is when they're going to pull out all the, don't count on it. Don't count on them being able to get away with that. I don't think that they will get away. They may try, but I don't think they'll be able to get away with it. Do you have any idea how many machines we have in this country? And I have said before, and I say publicly, that God has put this man in the office, which is one reason why they're coming against him, and another reason why we have to stay on our knees, and we have to be diligent. We have to vote. We have to do all of the things, that we should do. But in any case, the Tulsi Gabbard is suing Hillary, which takes a lot of guts. I mean, she's actually suing. Hillary made a very disparaging comment about Bernie Sanders the other day, that nobody liked him. My husband just sent me a message that I'm on the wrong link. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what to do about that, but that nobody liked Bernie Sanders, and that he then she had to walk that back. They made her correct that, but that she's coming after Bernie Sanders, and the New York Times has endorsed two people, Elizabeth Warren and Klobuchar. They chose two women. Of course, we have to have a woman president because Hillary didn't get to be the woman president, and so, they just have to have a woman president. I mean, I'm surprised, but they chose it two people. They couldn't narrow it down to one, so they just want one woman. They don't care who it is. I guess that was kind of interesting to me. I put the correct link in the other YouTube. Okay, yeah, this whole YouTube thing is a little. Dinner. That was my husband sending me a message. This whole YouTube live stream thing is a little bit. I haven't quite figured it all out yet, but we'll get there. But what I was going to say is, I'm surprised that they didn't. If they're going to endorse two people, they didn't endorse Elizabeth Warren and Buttigieg, because then they would have a woman and a LGBT person, and that would cover all of their little bases except for a person of color, which they can't have because they've all been knocked out of the race. But she doesn't qualify as a woman. Who? Elizabeth Warren? Yeah. So at any rate, so we've got Tulsi suing Hillary. Well, we have company.
We have 5 people on another lane.
Well, you got to just. I don't know what to hang with me. I don't know what to tell you. Got to tell them to.
We're on the link that I've been publishing.
I understand that. Something I don't know what happened. I don't know how to give you the. They just have to go to my channel.
How many people do you have there?
I don't know. How many people do I have here? Hang with me. We have some confusion. We found you. Hey, Bill. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got 5 on this channel.
Well, just tell them to go to my channel and they'll find it. I don't know what happened. I can't. Watching now, I think they've all jumped over. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I think what I did was I set up a live stream thing as a reminder, and then I did another one when I went live, and I think I just need to figure out how to just have one. 11 people. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've got 11. So that sounds like everybody jumped over. I'm sorry for the confusion. I'm new at all of this. Yeah, thank you. I apologize. I see that. I think that's what I did was I set up one and then I started another one, and oh well. This is the better channel. You've got different tabs. Thank you. I will figure it out for next week. I apologize for this confusion. You were on YouTube. Thank you guys. Sorry. That's right. Don't forget to like it. Don't forget thumbs up. I apologize. Anyway, I'm sorry I got lost in all of what I was saying. I lost my notes. I dropped my book. I'm so disorganized right now. But at any rate, we do have a lot going on. Tulsi Gabbard, as I said, was suing Hillary, which is kind of dangerous. Bill has some new information, which I'm not going to talk about because I think he's going to cover in his next YouTube. But there's been some breaking news on Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm not gonna break that out. But I tell you what, anybody who believes that he killed himself, I don't. Does anybody believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? I don't. And everybody in deep, no need to apologize. You're doing a wonderful job. So, yes. Tell Bill the 5-part series of Clinton was great. Yeah, he did that years ago. What was that, 22 years ago or something? Yeah, that was a very good series, and unfortunate it didn't air at the time around the Clinton. Talk about an impeachment that's justified. The Clinton impeachment was definitely justified. He was killed. I don't think anybody really believes that he wasn't murdered. Anyway, in other news, in the Biden news, Hunter Biden is now in the position of having to convince the judge as to why he should not be held in contempt of court. He didn't turn over some information for his paternity suit, whatever, and so in the timely fashion, and then judge has now set a new date for him to determine why, and he has to explain to the judge why he should not be held in contempt. I think contempt of court is going to end up being the least of his worries. And Michael Avenatti, as you all know, is still in jail and will remain in jail until his trial because he messed up in the bail agreement. And word is, who knows if this is true or not, but word is that he is in the same prison that Jeffrey Epstein was in, and he's in the same jail cell as El Chapo. Good company for him to keep is those two idiots. So Hunter Biden thinks of course he thinks he's above the law. And all of these Democrats are protecting Joe Biden. And why? I mean, when you read Peter Schweitzer, who wrote the book Clinton Cash, has come out with a new book about all of this corruption. And it's called Profiles of Corruption. If you remember during the Kavanaugh hearing, they referred to that woman whose name how could I forget her name, as a profile in courage. And so his book is about a profile in corruption. And it talks not only about the Bidens, but he talks about Klobuchar. He talks about Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law, who had some sort of Hunter Biden-ish types of deals. He talks about all these, and Joe Biden has already put out a press release to all of his buddies in the press to not pay any attention to this book and to treat it as if it's not true, because according to him, it isn't true. Of course, how would he remember? All he knows about is corn pop and hairy legs and all that other stuff that's going on. But, this is going to be very interesting to see. Blasey Ford, yes. Christy, right? Christy Blasey Ford. Blasey Ford, as some of us refer to her. And what is it? Rush Limbaugh calls her Ballsy Ford. But exactly right. I mean, all of this corruption going on all the time with these people, and they're trying to get out ahead of it. They're covering for Joe Biden for what reason? I don't know. Because he's connected to Hillary, I guess, or there's some connection to that. Obama administration was scandal-free. Oh, yeah, there were no scandals in the Obama administration. No, the president is not releasing aid to Ukraine, and yet under Obama, Russia came in and stole Crimea right under Ukraine's nose, because Obama wouldn't give them aid. Nobody seemed to care about that. Of course, we all know Democrats are above the law, Republicans are not above the law, and that just seems to be the way it is. However, I do believe the tide is getting ready to turn. I believe we're getting ready to see some of this stuff. According to some people, Bill Benny, if you saw that series that Bill did, there are, I think, 29 indictments that Durham has, and we're just waiting to see them come forward. I think things are getting ready to turn around. I think the fact that 21 attorneys general decided to send the Senate a letter explaining to them why they cannot go forward, why they need to dismiss this impeachment out of hand is, I don't know. I've never known that kind of thing to happen before. I think things are beginning to turn. I think we're going to see a change. This president has more guts. He's got more ability. He just works. One of the things one of his sons says is all this stuff doesn't bother him as much as it bothers the rest of the family, that he just keeps doing what he's doing. He fights it. He says stuff about it. He tweets about it, but he just keeps doing what he's doing. And they don't know what to do. I mean, what are they going to do with him? He's not sitting around crying and sitting in a corner, which I give him a lot of credit, but that's why we have to keep praying for him. You found, yes, sorry. I will, obviously, as I said before, I apologize for this. I think what happened was I set up a reminder go live thing, and then I went on my own channel to try to access it. I couldn't figure out how to make it go live. I didn't have a button that said go live. And so I set up another one because I didn't have time to figure all that out. But I promise I'll get it figured out before next week. And I did appreciate the fact that Pat Cipollone, who is one of the president's attorneys, turned to Nadler and said, "You're not running the Senate," and I was, yes, thank you. You're not in charge of the Senate. You think you're in charge of the Senate, but you're not in charge of the Senate. Stop telling the Senate what to do. I mean, when Nadler called them treacherous and, they were part of the cover up, I mean, that was horrible. And again, the House Dems are trying to get the Senate to do their job, to bring the witnesses. It's a cute picture of you two. Yeah, I know. I'm setting that up ahead of time. It said, set up your go live ahead of time. Set it up again. I gave it a title. I did all of this, and I went into it, and I couldn't figure out how to make it go live. And it was kind of last minute, and I just had to go, well, I don't have time to mess with it. Maybe I should have taken the time. It may not, because I set it up at a particular time, it may not have allowed me to go live until 3 o'clock. I don't know, but we'll figure out. Nadler looks to me like death warrant over how many people. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like we just started, but I'm also egg salad to go. I feel like I just started and I didn't cover someone asked you to fix lunch. Nothing. Okay. Well, at any rate, as I said, I do feel like we just started, but I have been going for 27 minutes, and I think that's probably long enough. I wasted a little time trying to, fix all this problem. But anyway, next Wednesday, 3 o'clock, I'll figure out the go live thing, and we'll have another great discussion. Thank you. Don't leave. Well, I'm sorry. I just feel like it's been long enough, and we have a lot to cover next week. Wednesday it is. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and I promise I will straighten out the go live thing. You're still here. That's because I haven't ended the stream yet. Well, does anybody have any questions or anything that they want? Have a blessed day. Talk about how. Oh, okay. I will PB&J. Gosh, no, I don't eat sandwiches. Did I? No, I did not. I did not make. We won a trip to Hawaii, and I bought this necklace in Hawaii. I'll tell you the real quick story of how we met. We met online, and I put up a thing, and he put up a thing on one of those, dating things online, and I got this message from this person about, getting together or getting to know each other or something. And I looked at the name, and I went, I know this guy. I know this guy. And I had seen one of his documentaries. I had seen something he did on the History Channel. I referred to him affectionately as that crazy money guy. I had determined he was either crazy or he was dead on right. And so I sent him a message that said somebody is parading as you, and put up a thing on the singles website. And he said, no, it was me. And we met, and we really hit it off, and we got married. And it's been interesting. It's been wonderful. It's been fun. And anything you want to say, still report. And so we often say it was a God thing, that it's just simply a God thing. So Trump's numbers aren't all affected. No. In fact, his numbers keep going up. His approval ratings go up. Everything seems to be looking good for him. He's continued to do stuff. He's continuing to do rallies. He's continuing to do trade deals with China. all of this stuff that he's doing. I mean, he is, I've said it a million times, but he is absolutely hands down best president of my lifetime. Absolutely best president of my lifetime. And I think he will just continue to do great things. He's going to win in a landslide, and the Democrats are going to be crying. We just have to get through this stupid impeachment. And then, but they won't stop. They are not going to stop. They will keep doing whatever they're going to do. They'll keep obstructing. They'll keep trying to get in his way. They will keep throwing things at him, accusing him of things, accusing him of what they do. And we just have to be ready and fight with everything we have. And you go make a sandwich. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye until next week. And next Wednesday, we'll have it perfect. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. God bless our President, Donald J. Trump, and God bless America, and God bless all of you. Thank you.